Foraging is one of those things that for me, no matter what's going on in my life, when I'm foraging, it's the only thing that exists. But it's especially nice in a field of spring's first flowers under a big old maple. Well, good morning. I'm out for a high-speed walk without Frank. I'm overdressed. I should have worn shorts, and I don't need this fleece. I packed a jacket and a raincoat and an umbrella. Yeah, probably gonna ditch the fleece because I still have quite a ways to go. This is way more walk than Frank could do. It's a common story these days. He is into walking like 2-3 kilometers a day, very slowly. So, yeah, that means I have to go on walks without him. Well, I don't, but I won't be happy with myself if I don't. And I have a lot on my mind lately, so high-speed walking really helps with that. That's really unfortunate. I have had this filter for a really long time, but I've also done a really good job looking after it. I guess I was just pumping a little too hard. Good morning, Frank. Good morning, bud. I think this is a herring, which is a really valuable part of the marine food chain. Where I was, they come to spawn en masse. I was actually there right before that event, but I think that's why on my overnight paddling trip there was so many seals and sea lions. And for those that don't know, sea lions are like basically put really super big seals. And I had a lot of people call seals sea dogs and say it was nothing to be scared of. But after talking to several locals in the area, I got the impression that in recent years the seals had become quite aggressive. And seals and sea lions are both known to become aggressive when feeding and mating. And so, me being there during probably their biggest feeding frenzy of the year made it actually quite a dangerous situation. And I think I was pretty justified in my fear. It wasn't the type of fear that was clouding my judgment. I feel like it was fear that allowed me to make really good decisions, get an adrenaline rush to paddle harder, and allowed me to stay safe. Ooh, wait a second, wait a second. Look at this ear flapping in the wind. It is so cute. Anyways, I don't really mind being in situations that have a little bit of adrenaline or I'm a little bit scared because it's really good practice to learn to manage your emotions in stressful situations and be able to perform under pressure, which can translate to many aspects of life and is really beneficial. If you're wondering why I've been talking over all these beautiful clips, it's because I really wanted to share them with you, but the wind that day was horrendous and made all of the audio completely unbearable. This is my friend Danny. We were best friends when we were like 15 years old, so it was really great to reunite after more than 20 years and feel like no time had passed at all. Danny, they're on the rocks too, over here. Oh, there's a whole gang of them. Ah!
Because I had so little energy, I was forced to really focus on it, as my number one priority. And yeah, it just simplified life in the best
It
way.
absolutely does.
Because it's just like, oh, that's just not worth the energy. And I only have a finite amount of energy and a finite amount of time that I'm even capable of doing anything.
Yeah, and you can't get more time. There's no way to save time for later, and so you just have to, prioritize how you spend that above anything else. Time and energy are really one and the same.
Weeds out a lot of stuff that just isn't necessary. The time people spend stressing about things they have no control on.
Yeah, it's just an absolute waste of time you'll never get back.
And wasting energy on people or things that they have no control on.
And often in the process causing friction in your life with other people and yourself. Yeah. Hello, mama. Yeah, nice trace fossils. So I'm just realizing that I've been on this island for a week. I came here with no plan, like at all, really no plan. I just wanted to go paddling, and I have two different friends here from completely different eras in my life. So it was really good to spend time with both of them. I actually went yesterday to see my friend Danny. We spent the night together hanging out. There's a hot tub where he is, so that was really nice to be in the hot tub under the stars by the ocean, listening to the waves and stuff. And then this morning we just went for this really nice walk on the beach. It was absolutely gorgeous, and there were sea lions offshore and like sea otters like right offshore and onshore running around. It was so much fun. It was a really nice walk. But unfortunately yesterday I got a call from the hospital in Vancouver that I have to go in for asthma testing tomorrow, and I had somehow completely managed to miss any prior notification of this appointment, and there wasn't really a convenient time to reschedule. So I have to leave the island in just like a little bit, like an hour and a half, to get on the ferry, make my way to Nanaimo, and then get on the early ferry tomorrow to get over to Vancouver in time. So I'm just out for like one last walk in this beautiful forest here with my trusty bowl to go forage some nettles, because I'm gonna end up on the mainland for at least a few days, and the nettles are nowhere near ready for picking there like they are here. So I figure I might as well stock up for a couple days and be able to enjoy them until I can get back to the coast, which is what I really hope to do once this little interlude on the mainland is complete. There's signs that I'm not the only forager in here, and that's so exciting because my motto for nettle is get it early, get it often, because it grows like a weed. It doesn't negatively affect its reproductive cycle to pick it super heavy, and so the sooner you get on it and the more you get on it, the more nettle you get to enjoy. Did I mention I love foraging? Well, because of the rain, I ended up being the first person at the ferry terminal, which means I'm at the front of the boat, which is awesome. It's only a 10-minute crossing. It's actually a cable ferry, just like at all the lakes in the Kootenays. The boat pulls itself across along a cable. So yeah, it's just a short crossing, and then I'm gonna head down island for a quick trip to Costco before finding somewhere to spend the night. never end up at the front of the ferry. So I find it really interesting that 2 sailings in a row I ended up at the front of the ferry. It was really neat, especially on this big ferry from Vancouver Island to Horseshoe Bay, to see all the goings on that happen, like the giant doors opening, and then just the things that need to happen before I'm able to get off the ferry, because I've always been much further back and I'm just waiting for a vehicle ahead of me to move so that I can move and then I just follow them off. So I did find it a little nerve-wracking to just be like waiting and eager and trying not to like miss the guy coming to tell me that I can get off. I remember one time I was editing in my van with headphones in, and the guy had to come and knock on my van to like tell me to get off the boat, and like everyone ahead of me had gone, and he was really upset at me. So it wasn't that bad waiting for this little signal here from this guy that I could get off. But yeah, I had a really, really nice nap on this sailing, cuddling with Frank, which is way better than going up top. Well, I really wasn't stoked about going to the city to do asthma testing. I really wanted to stay where I was. I was having a very nice time on the islands, but I'm glad I got it out of the way, and I've since been informed that I do in fact have asthma, which I'm not surprised about. But it's a little bit different than common asthma in that it's not something I suffer from all the time. It's triggered, and when it's triggered, it's very severe, but otherwise it's really mild. So it's kind of like all or nothing, and coming into allergy season, I'm starting to feel it, so I have to be careful, and I'm probably going to start moving places where I'm not going to have to deal with as much of the trees I'm allergic to, because those allergens are really big triggers for severe asthmatic episodes. But I'm glad that's out of the way, and I don't have to then in the future plan to go into the city again. So from there I left and I drove up to Squamish. I had some loose ends there I needed to tie up, so that I don't really need to go back in the future. I will, because all my life is there. Like, that's where my bank and my doctor and all that kind of stuff, and Frank's vet is there. So I'll still have to go back for those reasons, but not for any other reasons. And it was good timing because I thought that Frank's bump on his head had kind of swollen up again, so I took him to the vet. Gonna get this bump checked out, Frank. Yeah, I'm worried about it. You didn't eat dinner the other night. It was kind of swollen. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. It's alright, bud. Yeah, it'll be okay. Just waiting for your meds, Frank. Make it easier to deal with you tomorrow. You'll be back. Got a hot ear too, bud. Get that looked at. Alright, Frank, buddy, I got some medications you gotta take so you're nice and relaxed for the vet. Do you want to take them? What about if there's some treats in my hand at the same time? Okay, it's time to go see the doctor, bud. Look at how nice you move when you're all doped up. That's okay, bud. That's okay, buddy. Yeah. Well, Frank is a bit of a handful. For anyone but me. So he's being doped up on medication and double muzzled and sent back so they can hopefully do a good exam and get the samples out of the lump that's come back on his head. So, yeah. So it was pretty stressful having to take Frank to the vet. And of course my mind went to all the worst case scenario. I was pretty much convinced myself that his cancer was back. I was very upset and thinking of just how I was going to deal with that, and Yeah, like it's just so close to his eye at this point. But as it turned out, he actually had an ear infection. It was really yeasty inside, and so he had been scratching it, and so they think that he just irritated um the scar tissue there that caused it just to like maybe swell a little bit. But when they did the testing, they couldn't find any tissue of concern, and when he had the cancer removed, they did get all the margins, so they were very, very, very confident it wouldn't come back. So he ended up going on medication, and his ear's all better now, and it's not bothering him, and he's not scratching, and his bump is the same day to day. So I just always, as always, monitoring him, keeping a close eye on him to, that's him right there, keeping a close eye on him just to note any changes so I can address them as soon as possible. But it was really nice that he has his own bank account that had funds in it. So the trip to the vet wasn't stressful. And even though it was kind of pricey for like all the diagnostic, the needle, like the ear swab, and all the medications, he was just able to pay for it. So that was great, and that's because of your support in the past. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And it's, yeah, really nice to just kind of like feel at ease about him again. He is getting old. He has arthritis. He doesn't like to walk far, but he's happy and he enjoys the time I spend with him. And as you saw with the paddleboarding, like I'm finding ways to get him out more and let him enjoy like the adventure and the excitement that he's so fond of. So yes. Well, that's going to be it for this episode. I really appreciate you watching. If you've watched this far, please give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. I really appreciate you watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, maybe check out this one that's similar, just like days in my life, or this one that's a pretty big adventure.